Thank you, friend Shabbat Shalom, and greetings to you all. Now, I do not believe it's my role or anyone's who is not in the field, which is why I have such a problem with rabbis who think they're political commentators, or that anybody would care about what they have to say about things they know nothing about. To spend time lecturing on the state of the world, I don't want to spend much time talking about it, or the hate in the world, which everybody knows exists. It's not my field. It has occupied too much for too long, with too many. For most of these past few years, it's been that way, but it's getting worse. And the scapegoatism of Jewish hatred is just growing, and with it growing, its acceptance as normal is growing. Now, it doesn't take a lot to see my own view of the world is not particularly positive these days, although I always hold on to the hope that decency will triumph. Some think of themselves. How are they doing? Some think of a bigger picture also. How's the world doing, regardless of whether they are currently doing well or not? Unfortunately, I think we're closer to the brink of disaster than ever before, and it does not bode well for Jews, for Israel, for any of us, as we go down the road of terror's rise and acceptance. If you think it stops with Jews, you are sorely wrong. My dear friend Martin thinks I'm being pessimistic. I think I'm being realistic. Even in dark times, there are events which always bring us joy and pleasure and put a smile on our faces. And that's so important in our lives. We grow up with different attitudes. Some have an every man for himself attitude. They feel as though they had to struggle and fight to survive on their own. Looking out for number one is a full-time job. And caring too much about others becomes a survival risk. Notice if this attitude is in yourself, and if so, ask yourself, what in you wants to maintain it? Often it is centered in the fears we carry, and major fears are of our being bad, defective, evil, corrupt, or maybe of being harmed or controlled by others, of being violated. Now, you're always entitled to feel your feelings. Everybody should feel their feelings. It's your right and your responsibility to yourself. But you are each much healthier than you give yourself credit for being. Be there for yourself, and be there for your friends. I remember Martin Luther King Jr. had said, in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Do not be silent for yours. And I hope the silence for Israel stops soon. We can drift through life not paying attention, not speaking up when we could. We can spend much of our lives asleep. Make sure that's not you. How asleep are you? Are you sleeping through the day, through your life? Are you defending the weak, protecting yourself? Are you focused on awareness? Be aware of your thoughts, your feelings. The more aware you are, the more awake you are, and the more impact you can have. If you ignore your feelings, you simply become complicit. So Sergeant Pepper took you by surprise. You better see right through that mother's eyes. Those freaks was right when they said you was dead. The one mistake you made was in your head. Oh, how do you sleep? Oh, how do you sleep at night? Now, what a song that was. The brilliant, haunting George Harrison slide guitar over the biting lyrics of John Lennon. But it reminded us, it's time to wake up. Don't stay asleep. You each have a role to play in this lifetime. In any lifetime, live that role. Ask God. He will show it to you. He will tell you what your role is, and you can heal. You can return to the path you were destined for. And we just had the new moon of Virgo, the month of healing. But people don't think of the moon. They're thinking of the eclipse. Don't forget, it's the new moon when these eclipses occur. So while this part of North America got to see 7 or maybe 8% of the shadow, we all got 100% opportunity to focus on healing. Just take a moment. Watch the great celestial clock playing out above you. You can see the position of the sun and the moon and watch the celestial clock in motion every day. Now, I know we're about a month to the new year and about 5 weeks from the fall equinox and another change in season. We get used to the change in seasons, the inexorable march of time, punctuated and managed by celebrations, holidays, national, religious, universal. Some things are hardly noticeable, either because they fall into our expected pattern of life or because they happen over a slow motion backdrop that simply becomes part of the fabric of life. The procession of the Platonic year, a great year, as it is called, and changing ages, is one of those unnoticeable events. We are currently in the age of Aquarius, and ancient history left markers as to what each event occurred, where each age was. Pisces was the age of religion, Aries the age of the Bible, Taurus the age of the Bronze Age of Greece, and so on. Each age takes about 2160 years. And the great cycle of what to us is 1 year, but to Plato was the perfect year, or the return of the constellations and fixed stars to the same position, took 25,920 years. You will never get to see that great year, let alone one of its ages of 2100 years, since the best you'll do is about 3.5% to 4% of any age. But to get an idea of what it's talking about, watch a gyroscope. Watch it spin. Its axis returns to its start position very quickly. You're watching it. And you're watching it would be like God watching his universe in motion. We cannot see those great cycles. God can, but we see the short ones. The moon is our guide. We're now 11 months completed of this year, and the anti-Semitism is just getting worse every year, not better. Who would have imagined? Can you hear the screams for justice? Neither can I. To many, the end of the world is truly coming. Hope you got your things together. Hope you are quite prepared to die. Looks like we're in for nasty weather. One eye is taken for an eye. Don't go around tonight. It's bound to take your life. There's a bad mood on the rise. Now that's probably the verse people do not pay any attention to, in a very famous song. But what a statement that is. Sometimes great strides in humanity occur. Look back on the Age of Reason or the Industrial Revolution. Great strides for humanity. Okay, we didn't know that such progress would bring the accelerated ending of the world through climate change. But hey, we learn as we go. Sometimes the strides are truly repressive. One thing that is repressive has been occurring over a slow period, but one that is accelerating, and that is the soul-destroying growing level of hate. Particularly, again, as it has been for thousands of years against the Jews. It's growing everywhere. There are constant new reports, new hate crimes, new destruction, new social media spewing of garbage and hate in Europe and North America, in government, but nowhere more so than in the universities. We said never again, but never is a long time. Instead, there is widespread anti-Semitism and hate all over, and hate has now become acceptable. We can hate the other. Students can no longer attend classes at universities throughout North America because of the protests and violence against Jewish students. These aren't protests against policies. These are protests against people. We're almost victims of the inexorable march of time, and great cycles are small. Watch your own cycles of life. Watch the world cycles. They continue to occur. Now, of course, one of the longest standing positive cycles is measured by the weekly Sabbath service and gathering of family, friends, camaraderie. It's been going on for thousands of years. Nothing stands for it more than the simple challah bread, shared at every Sabbath, at every life cycle event, weddings, births, bar mitzvahs. The two most recognized symbols of Judaism and Israel are the Star of David and the menorah. But I would bet you the next would be the woven challah. Now, it's believed that the inception of challah dates back to the exodus from Egypt and the wandering of the wilderness generation. According to Scripture, God gave the Israelites manna from heaven to sustain them during their 40 years in the desert. This manna was a miracle food that kept the people alive, with a double portion on Friday to take them through the Sabbath. And to this day, Jews around the world prepare 2 loaves of challah for Shabbat to represent the double portion of manna the people received. And its braiding represents unity of the different peoples and tribes, united, all equal. And today represents Jewish practitioners all around the world, each observing in their own unique ways, because we need and desire to come together, where we create and have a sense of camaraderie, a collective consciousness, seekers showing faith. Any and all faith, love, any and all are welcome, because we are a true fellowship, a chavura, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, and hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. Even though together, we are each individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her or their own way. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody you know, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way at all, to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hinei Matov, come together. Hinei Matov, Umanai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinei Matov, Umanai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. We support each other in this community, so let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside a little bit of sacred time in your sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill, and goodwill and intention are the roots of what you can control, of what you can correct. It is your intention, my friends. It sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives. Let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Let's send some of that goodwill, some light, some healing out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal for everyone. Float through space, finding those in need, so send it out. For those you know and for the souls and spirits of everyone you love, think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people, it is for our pets, it's for the earth, it is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam. That's part of our spiritual genetic makeup, and a part of the healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everyone. They don't have to be sick, it's for those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send energy out for people in need everywhere, because we always give special thoughts and prayers for those who are truly in need of assistance. We pray for those who need prayer. We don't have to know them, because we want health, recovery, good life for everyone around us and for those close to us. For the fairy godmother, who's truly in her element when we celebrated the new moon and eclipse. For the rhythm master Tony, teaching people how to connect to the heartbeat of the earth. For Carson, still helping his friend, always there when needed. For the great Leo, who traveled back from sunny California, in time with family. For Angelica, off on another sojourn. Maria, Victoria, Laura. For Pal. For Corey. For Alan, Sherry, Gabby. For Lorella and Pinky. For Lily, Wendy, Giggles. For Lana, Snoopy. For MW and Roberta. My dear friends Anna and Winston. For John and Fern. For John and Maria. For Doria. For Gloria. For Connie, for Ronnie, for Mayim, for Tally, for Nina, for Linda and Danny, for all those suffering and in need. Let's not forget to include all the familiars of our lives, all of our sacred animal friends everywhere, for everyone you know in need, for the whole world, and always for the bee. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Sheberach, Avotenu, Makor ha-bracha limotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Barak, let us all have our spirits renewed. It is the great prayer for healing, because we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Misha Barak, may He who blessed, because all healing's a blessing. So let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now, how do you like the retelling of the law so far? I bet you're looking forward to it either ending or picking up. And it's okay to feel that way. It's a very different book. You've witnessed creation, the growth of man, the establishment of great nations, the fall and struggle to rise again, the struggle with faith, the birth of monotheism, the plagues, the gift of freedom, the epiphany, the journey through the wilderness, miracles. All of these great events, a macrocosmic projection of what we go through in our own lives, from cells dividing and forming and coming from the primordial in utero waters of birth, to coming forth and witnessing the letting there be light, our growth and development as children and youth, learning, doing, being, striving, emulating, understanding, learning our roles in life, our individual struggle with faith, our position, our own journey through our own wilderness of fear and lack, scenes played out in the lives of man throughout time. But for now, this week we read shoftim, judges. Deuteronomy 16:18. You shall put judges and officers in all your gates that the Lord your God is giving you for your tribes, and they shall judge the people. Judgment with justice. You shall not bend judgment. You shall not recognize a face, and you shall not take a bribe, because bribery will blind the eyes of the wise and undermine the words of the virtuous. Justice. Justice you shall pursue so that you'll live and you'll take possession of the land that your God is giving you. It should be obvious, but unfortunately, judgment and justice are not the same thing. And we shouldn't need to warn about bribery. Isn't that obvious? Justice must be for all, and it must be equal for all. And yes, it must be seen to be that way. How far it seems to have fallen. Justice needs to be for both sides. The plaintiff in defense in a civil matter, the defendant in the prosecution in a criminal matter, and we see that is rarely the case. We are too focused on winning and hating and manipulating, and that's wrong. True winning is when everyone wins. What joy is there in defeating someone in belittling or demeaning? What satisfaction can we get when we know we cheated? We all expect fairness and decency and opportunity. We don't want to be judged, just as we should not be judging others. But are we prepared to give that fairness and decency and opportunity? Don't want to judge nobody. Don't want to be judged. Don't want to touch nobody. Don't want to be touched. Don't want to hurt nobody. Don't want to be hurt. Don't want to treat nobody like they was dirt. But if you do right to me, baby, do right to you too. You got to do unto others like you have them, like you have them do unto you. Now there's a further explanation of the underlying need for judgment with justice in our lives and in the life of society. It deals with crimes against society, the ones that help govern behavior. Deuteronomy 17:6, on the word of two witnesses or three witnesses shall the one who is to die be put to death. One shall not be put to death on the word of one witness. The witness's hand shall be on him first to put him to death, and all the people's hand after that. That's really incredibly important. Do not forget, one witness is never sufficient. And it's telling us the executioner is the people who witnessed first, and then all the people after. The death of another is never to be taken as a light matter. It is the job of society, not a paid executioner, which is why there was not a lot of execution in ancient Israel. It's crucial that witnesses must know that if they testify against someone in a capital case, they will have to strike the first blows against the defendant themselves. That emphasis is so important. And there's another very important statement made in Deuteronomy 17:8. If a matter for judgment will be too daunting for you, between blood and blood, between law and law, and between injury and injury, matters of disputes in your gates, then you shall get up and go up to the place that the Lord your God will choose. Now that's fascinating also. In every code of law, there must be a mechanism for change and for application to new and difficult situations. Even if the law is divine law, as this is seen to be, there must be such a mechanism. And the Torah recognizes this and provides for it. It directs that in such difficult questions, it is the authorities of the day, be they judges and priests or whoever's considered that era's authority, which sure as hell should not be like social media people, they shall determine what to do. This has always been an underlying concept in Judaism. It was so far advanced for that. Now, the greatest examples we can see are the writing of the Talmud, and then about 1,000 years later, the great work of people like Maimonides and others in the Middle Ages. But every year when we read this, we are reminded we must examine what is written in light of changes to society. It's one of the reasons I constantly seek new insight every year and see if there are new nuances, instead of reading or saying the same old, as so many rabbis do and so many practitioners notice. Don't forget, this book is the retelling of the law, so we also read about the restrictions on royal authority and the outlawing of child sacrifices, laws about cities of refuge, laws about witnesses, laws about murder by persons unknown. And two very interesting things are talked about. One is a metaphor, the discussion of boundaries. And I'm reminded of the great English maxim which says that fences or walls make good neighbors. In biblical times, territorial borders were essential and were marked off with big, huge boundary stones, and within them lay the city walls. But friends, there are other boundaries. We all have personal boundaries. And aren't they really perhaps the most important boundaries of all? We make boundaries for love, for pain, for emotional states, for work, for ethics, for friendship. These are the boundaries that impact us on a daily basis. These are the boundaries that make us healthy or unhealthy. Then there's a huge shift that takes place, one that suggests when this book might have actually been written. And that's in Deuteronomy 17:14. When you'll come to the land that the Lord your God is giving you, and you'll take possession of it and live in it, and you'll say, let me set a king over me like all the nations that are around me. You shall set a king over you whom the Lord your God will choose. You shall set a king from among your brothers over you. You may not put a foreign man who is not your brother over you. This is a prediction, in effect, that's being made that down the road, the people will ask for a king. And that suggests, of course, that this was written during the time when there was a king. Kingship came late to Israel. Who qualified was important, and it was a different type of kingship. You might almost call it a constitutional kingship, because it was almost joint rule instituted, checks and balances. The king must be chosen by God. And so we see the rise of prophets picking and anointing the king. Samuel designates Saul and David. Nathan designates Solomon, and on throughout history. The stories of the kings of Israel and Judah in the books of Samuel, Kings, Chronicles, convey that kings are acceptable if the people want them, but their power is limited and balanced by the power of the prophets who represent religion. And kings who do not listen to prophets, or who imprison or execute them, do so at their own risk. So you have society and you have religion going hand in hand. And so I say we get a clue as to when this, because we are told the king must write his own copy of this book of instruction so that it is inculcated in him and keeps him humble and kind. The book of Deuteronomy was lost for almost 1,000 years. Could what we have simply be one of those kingly copies? There are enough differences in the retelling of the law to suggest it may very well be. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your freedom with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace. Pray for freedom for everyone. And end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together. We celebrate with each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. Let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life and tell those you love that you love them. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe. Remember, we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect. Everything is linked. You always have time to forgive and be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what is good and bad. So acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, accountability, vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world, just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? Because if you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. Keep on dreaming, my friends. Keep on being. Keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness, in your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all circumstances. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone is always there for you, whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief in what they mean to you. Don't take what they mean to somebody else, only what they mean to you. Never accept shame as a natural state, because whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, believe it, others have too. We are each of us simply trying to find love and acceptance and support. We share together, we learn together, we help each other. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them and tell them what they mean. And you're never alone on your journey. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. And listen to the voice of God as he talks to you. And remember, your connection to God and all that's been created in body and soul and spirit and mind, it's a part of you, it's a part of me, it's a part of all of us together forever. We're all part of the great heart. And since this is a section devoted to justice, think of it, how it governs us, how it dictates the lives we lead, whether for good or for bad, and how it can often ask about our intent. Intent, that driving force in all actions and reaction. To Mao, as stated in the Little Red Book, power sprang from the barrel of a gun. To others, power lay in the hands of people. And that is where justice could always be found. A million workers working for nothing. Better give them what they really own. We gotta put you down when we come to town. Singing power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Right on. Thank you for joining me, my friends. Exercise your power. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.